I should lay all my cards on the invisible table. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. This is where we would cut to the titles. And be like, that's what my title music would be. And then we'd come back and be like, yeah, it's just not for me, guys. Guys, it's just not for me. This is my impression of a YouTuber because I'm not very good at impressions. I don't know where the hands come from. Yes, I'm hate reading this, and I should go into my like this is my sanctuary video, you know. I enjoy hate reading things because comics have conditioned me to hate read things. An engaged fan, oh, I did it wrong. An enraged fan is an engaged fan. I don't know if that's what Dan Slott actually said, but I have seen it attributed to him. And my God, did he do good hate work? And when I was reading comics back in the day, a couple of years ago, from then until 10 years ago, hate work was all the rage. You would you put something out into the world for people to hate. You write comics for people to hate, and that I don't know how true that is. Like I shouldn't like ban that about like it's true. That's just the kind of feeling that I had. Because like how do you write a story like Superior Spider-Man, or the thing that led up the death of Peter Parker that led up to Superior Spider-Man? How do you do that, and how do you continue to write that without, you know, in some way hate being involved? And I was absolutely entirely there for Superior Spider-Man. I enjoyed a lot of it. See that bit, and like spoilers for everything, but see that bit when Doc Ock killed Peter Parker's ghost dead. That was hysterically good. Like that was like absolute. I'm going to throw my glasses off because they're throwing me off. That was hysterically good hate work. And yeah, like what do you say? Like hate was involved in writing that comic. He knew what he was doing. I want to say it's not a good practice, and I would not. I don't know. I wouldn't advise people to do it. I feel like this is divisive. I don't know if it's intentionally divisive. It feels like it's dividing the room. I feel like there's two camps: thing good, thing bad camps, and I'm very much in the thing bad camp. I don't think that. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I don't know. I made a video. It might have been called Thing Bad. It might have been called Heroes in Crisis is Bad. But I don't know if I was like overly horrible to it. I'll have to watch that back, see how I did. But I don't think this is the worstest comic in the world by far. But there's a lot of things in it that I don't like, that aren't for me. There's a lot of characters that aren't, you know, ones I would want to read about. And you might say, why read the comic then? Just don't read it. Just stay away. And to that I would say, no, you have to bear witness to what they are doing. And I think that's wrong. That's a thing that my brain says. And I managed to work that out to the point where, like, no, you don't have to bear witness to the hate work. You can just not read the bad comic. I don't think it's all that bad. I'm going to keep saying that. I don't think it's all that bad. I just don't think it's good. And then there are certain things that it does specifically. And spoilers for everything. If you haven't read any of Heroes in Crisis and you don't live on the internet and you don't live in the bubble where you get all of, you know, media chucked at you, because I didn't read the first issue until like a week or whatever it came out, and I knew that Wally West dies. Comics. It doesn't matter what happens. Like, it's just a story. It's a fun story. You can get invested in the characters, and it's really fun to get invested in the characters. And a good comic should get you invested in the characters. But you when you read the comic, you're aware that anything can happen, and also it's fine because like it'll get reset at some point. And usually, like, I kind of detest when people say like, "Oh, it's going to get reset. It doesn't matter." Don't think of it in like a negative way. Just think of it in a like, read the comic, enjoy it, and then like, didn't worry too much because it'll be fine. That's usually what I think. But I think that you kind of have to take things as they happen. You have to take continuity. I've been thinking a lot about continuity recently. You have to take canon and continuity as it happens, and moment by moment. And you can do it really well in comics because it's boxed off into little panels. You can take every little moment as it comes. I think the moment where they murdered Wally West is a hateful, hateful piece of art. And I go into great detail in my other video, and I won't bore you again. Basically, I think that he was hope. He was their kind of embodiment of hope that they put into physical flesh paper form when they did Rebirth. He was the symbol for DC Rebirth. It's what I've been trying to vomit out of my mouth there. And then they just killed him in a kind of meaningless shock death kind of way. And I thought we were past that. But apparently we're not past that. The stage we're at now is kind of justifying shock death via the medium of 9-ish issues of waffle. It's kind of waffle. Awful waffle. I think it's entirely good that they're doing a low-key event that focuses on the damage that superheroes have. I don't think it's been done well, which I feel like undermines the premise. I feel like the premise of them being like, I were doing these shocking things, but we're gonna tackle the issues. We're gonna tackle them head on. I think that's undermined by the writing not backing it up, because I don't feel any of it. I don't see when characters are talking to screen like this and they're getting their issues out there. They're trying to be characterful. I don't feel it. I don't feel like any of the, especially in these panels, in these very Bendis-y talking head panels, all the characters feel like they're talking with the same voice. They don't. It just gets to the point where it's this waffle. Like there's just pages of waffle about how they're not just saying they're damaged or whatever, but they're trying to get across their issues and that. And I just don't care. I don't buy it. Most of all, I don't buy from a lot of them. I think the premise, I don't want to say valid, but I want to say the premise is intriguing and could have been a banger if done right. I will say that I'm part of the problem on this one, and I don't like that it has the crisis word, because crises mean big cosmic, movers and shaker kind of events. I know that doesn't have to be the case, and I know I shouldn't be limited like that. I should have an open mind. It's just, didn't be cheeky and put a crisis on like a thing that's not a crisis, eh? It's a fantastic pun. Do not get me wrong. You get points for puns. You might get enough points back to make it into the positives, but the heroes, I guess the pages. Let me see if I can find the pages. I'm doing it in this kind of slapdash way because there's just people on YouTube that do this and it works, and apparently people like watching like this. If you're in the stream, just let me know. I think, to say a positive, because we should be positive, the caveman guy, Gurk, or whatever you called, Nark, is the G silent. I think that his stuff is the best stuff in the book so far. But it is all this waffle, and it's not good waffle, so I'm not going to sit there and read it. I have read it for the purposes of reading it, but a lot of these issues have had these big piles of waffle, and I haven't enjoyed them. My eyes just glaze over. They start to just go Harley Quinn is talking. That's another thing. I don't care one iota about Harley Quinn, and she's kind of the main focus of the book. And I don't gel with her place in current DC as a person that's important in any way, shape, or form. Yes, she has issues, and yes, she has genuine issues, and yes, she should probably get therapy for them, and she is. But I just don't care. Just don't care in any shape. I don't think she's interesting. I don't think she has no powers. She's just a person with a baseball bat. Someone was saying that she's jacked up on not Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Venom, or Sun. Fair play. That's a good bit of Harley's your lesbian lover. You'll get. Apparently she's got powers because she does powery things in this. I don't know. I'm not a big-ish Batman fan. I like the main stuff. I don't get bogged down in characters. I don't know why I'm talking about this. We're 10 minutes into getting bogged down in characters. We're just repeatedly shown Wally's death. We've seen it from two angles now. That's Booster, spoilers, killing Wally West, and I'm pretty sure they showed us Harley killing Wally West. So there's obviously something going on, and that kind of harkens back to my point about how you can have to take it moment by moment, because eventually the story will end and I'll be like, ha, we got you. The thing was actually this thing. And like, I know that's every story, but it's more evident in comics. And because like when you talk to people about how thing bad, they go, but I'm sure it's a thing, I'm sure it'll be resolved. But it's like, yes, but for like 9 months, it's going to be like Wally West dying forever. Or like that panel will exist of Wally being dead without any contradiction, without any, that's just me burping, without any like elaboration, or without any, I suppose there's lots of elaboration. That's my main sticking point with this issue, is this issue. And correct me if I'm wrong, comic people. Like, I know it takes ages for comics to be made, and this was probably written well before the reactions to like issue 1 and the pre-hype for issue 1 came out. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but it very much feels like this issue is a reaction to everyone's reaction. This is a reaction to your reaction, because this issue is like, I feel like the issues have been building about how Wally misses his family that doesn't exist anymore, and he's dealing with the crisis of like, everyone I know isn't really the same person that I knew, and also my family that I had doesn't exist or is dead or son. So like, it's been building there, but like, this issue specifically says, Wally, you are hope. And I did like those panels, but at the same time, I didn't like them. Because like Wally, it says, like, Flash is like, do you know what this means? This is the return of hope. Like, that's Big Barry saying, Wally, you're the return of hope. And like, that's spelling out my criticism is their murdering of hope. And I feel like acknowledging it isn't the same thing as like dealing with it. Like, they've acknowledged that people don't like that they've murdered hope, which, you know, murdering hope is something you probably shouldn't do. We talked about in one of the Green Lantern videos that I just made that they literally murdered the Blue Lanterns of Hope. So DC has a history with murdering hope. But like, I feel like them just being like, aye, we're talking about how you consider Wally hope. It's like, yes, you are. You also murder Wally West again. Like, it's just like, it doesn't feel like it's coming from a good place, basically. So I feel like acknowledgement isn't the same as being cool. You know, like, you can acknowledge that you've done this terrible thing and that people know that you've done this terrible thing, but I won't be appeased by that. I won't be appeased by your choices in writing in the story that you're telling. I just don't care about Harley. The Narc, I'm going to call him Narc the caveman stuff. I saw a review saying that he steals the show. That's mainly because the rest of it's kind of naff. You know, he's good, but he's not like great. And yes, you're giving depth to Wally by saying that, like, yes, he is the return of hope, but he himself doesn't have hope because he doesn't have his family. Hopefully, what you're gonna do, like, is the last issue just gonna be like, and then he gets his family back and everything's fine, because that's all I'm gonna accept now. I don't care about the mystery either, because like, I just want it to be over. And I feel like this is one of the events that don't really matter. Like it's a big, proper, carded event. It's got crisis in the name, but I don't think it's a capital M matter, if you know what I mean, because everyone that's writing their big superhero books, like, because Bendis is on Superman, so anything that happens to Superman in this doesn't really matter, because, you know, Bendis is on Superman, he'll have his stories that he's telling. I mean, King is on Batman, but Batman doesn't really factor into what's going on. He's there, he makes a couple jokes, he gets defeated by Harley Quinn. Somehow, I've read that comic, I took in the visual information of what happened. I don't know, basically. I don't know what happened there. I mean, I know Harley's got popularity power, but that doesn't really excuse beating Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman in like a few panels. Like, what? That's like a genuine like puzzler. I've lost my train of thought. Thing bad, but also, I don't know. For a while, I was saying that Heroes in Crisis was getting better with every issue, and then this kind of happened, and it specifically acknowledged the criticism I had of it, but it didn't do it honestly. That's bad. I shouldn't say that. Like, it's not that it's not doing it honestly. It's just, it's not doing it the way I would do it. And I don't know how I'd do it. I'd basically not do it. I'd basically not kill Wally West. I know that, like, comics are famous for their just horrendous like killing of folk, and then they're resurrected the next week, and it's a whole thing, and Flashes have that whole connection with death and everything. But why would you kill Wally West, DC? I'm putting my hands on my non-existent hips. Why would you do it? Why would you do it? Turn the light on you. Why would you do it, son? Was it for the cheap thrill? Because I guess you got like all that kind of hate, harkening back to hate. You got all that kind of hate reaction when you did it. They're like, oh my god, they killed Wally West. Why would they do this? Because lots of people love Wally West, and he's a lovely lad, and you've just brought him back. Someone tell me when he came back, because I can't be bothered looking it up, but it feels like vaguely recently, doesn't it? It definitely feels like vaguely recently. I'm going to summarize things now because I can't talk about Heroes in Crisis anymore because I've already made a big long video about it, and not much happens in each issue of Heroes in Crisis. It feels like there's just pages of Bendis-esque talking heads that just talk waffle at you, and they're meant to be like, ironic subversions of their character or meaningful psychobabble. Basically, like, I feel like they're trying to do Eva, like they're doing like Evangelion with its like psychological deconstruction stuff, but applied to superheroes, and that's like a great idea, but it's just done in such a way that I can't get behind at all, because all of the trappings are just stuff that I don't like Harley Quinn, and just the weird sex cult-like nature of Sanctuary. Why does it have to have that robe and the mask? Like, why that design choice? It's such an odd one. It's such an odd one. But yeah, I want to keep saying thing bad, but thing not bad, just thing that I don't like, and I should probably stop reading, but I'm 6 issues in now, and I did have a good time reading it. Like, that's the other thing, like, I'm not having a bad time, that's not what hate read is. A hate read is like, I'm enjoying not liking this, I'm enjoying having, like, material, and nothing in it has, like, enraged me to, like, the degree of the worst comic ever made. Secret Invasion, no, it's not Secret Invasion. I like Secret Invasion, know what I say, ish, kind of. Secret Invasion's relevant. Scrolls are happening soon with Marvel films. What's it called? Secret Wars. Secret Wars 2015-ish. 2015? It was about 2015, wasn't it? I want to say remake, but that event that they also called Secret Wars, that second issue of that, what I would say is my most hated comic, purely on the basis that they promised it is this big, massive cosmic event, killing Marvel universes and whatnot, and then it was literally just Game of Thrones pandering for dozens of issues. I have genuine bile for that comic, and we'll talk about it one day. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. Please? Pretty please? I basically like saying that at this point. I know no one's going to do it, but, are you man enough to subscribe? I don't know why you would have to be man enough, but, Bye!